Yeah.
Pow! Start it up! It's the outlaw hinges. Look at it. That should be outlawed. That opens so wide. Want to see something cool? Pure gold. Actually, it took me a while to find these. These are outlaw style Porsche 356 hinges. I'll show you. So the way the hinges are on this, it only opens that far, which is not that great. So these little hinges are surface mount, and they replace
Oh gosh, you're gonna put them on
those
the
inner
outside?
hinges. Yeah, they polish up. They're stainless steel, but they go on like this, and then the deck lid opens all the way up to this way. You just lay a towel here, and it folds all the way back on itself. Get it?
That's a bold move.
What's that?
I said that's a bold move.
It's cool and functional because it looks bad arse with these on the outside. Race car parts, man. Race car parts.
Kind of like the lugs, or the not the lugs. What are they
Yeah,
called?
the studs. Race car parts.
Okay. I'm learning.
Yipper.
What are you working on today?
I am going to finish putting the interior back in where I fixed the floors up. And then I'm going to hook the wiring up and allow myself to start the engine as a reward for fixing the floors up. Because if I started it before I did the floors, I would have driven it and never done the floors. So, it's good. It's close. Porsche Boots 6-inch wheels are on it. Melissa was horrified when I set it up with these bad boys. She asked if they were getting cut off. I was like, I paid extra to have them long. People pay a lot of money to get extra length. And then inside the car, it's super dirty now. But, all Wolfsburg West square weave carpet. I modified her shifter, shortened it, and made it more bent to fit. And then it's got an actual empty brand DDM steering wheel on it. It's got an original locking column out of, I think, a 65 Beetle, and an old German cruiser pedal, not a repop. It's a neat car. I swear we're gonna drive it this summer. And my friend Barry that I built it for, I saw this color on a picture of an old 356 and I thought, that's it. And I went and looked up what I thought was close and painted this color. But to be fair, in case Barry sees this, I was totally prepared to repaint it the color he wanted at my cost. Thank God he didn't make me do that. It would have cost me $1,000. So what's going on here is something else I always wanted for this car. The hinges for the hood on the CMC replica cars, and I don't know how the other ones are really, really cheesy. Cast aluminum. They look like they're for a horse and buggy, and it always drove me crazy. And I've been wanting to. I always think I need to make everything. I was going to make a set of these. Are called Outlaw style hinges, and what it does, it moves the hinge to the outside of the deck lid, and then that way when I open the hood or the deck lid, it goes way up out of my way and not in trying to hit me in the head when I'm trying to work on the engine. So what I did was I got all my gaps just right. I took the hinges that were on it, the horse and buggy hinges, and took them off. So the deck lid is in its spot and latched with even gaps all the way around. And then I spaced these out to where I like them. I kept wondering what the rule was, where they should go. And then I decided I own the car, so I'll put them where I want them. And so what I did is I centered them in the grills. Originally this kit only had one grill, but because of the bigger engine, I split it and put 2 grills in. And the nice thing is these are real 356 grills that I got at a swap meet instead of the junky cast aluminum one that came with the kit. I'm looking over on the wall because it's up on the wall. And so the hinges are, these are external outlaw style hinges. big deal, right? But it the thing that's nice about it is the way that the deck lid was hinged before was internally, and it was these horrible, whoever made this kit should be embarrassed about these. And they were hinged in this way, but it would only let the deck lid open that far. And these outlaw, I fantasize that I'm an outlaw. These outlaw style hinges mount externally, so they let the deck lid open up all the way to over 90 degrees, and then it stays out of your way. So I can put my whole big head in here now to work on stuff. Which leads me to the next exciting thing, which is it's ready to start. So the engine was out, I probably said this earlier, to get all new seals, because when the car sat for roughly 15 years, all the seals dry up, oil cooler, push rod tubes, all this stuff. So it was kind of like, it was leaky and dirty, and I feel like this car is nice enough, it shouldn't be leaky and dirty. So I took the engine out to my friend, Tom Simpson, and he went over it and tuned it, which is probably what I like the most about it. So one of the things that he changed was we moved up to a bigger size carburetor, and I'm hoping that is a performance gain. It is a performance gain because he said it is. And we put a cool,
He said it is.
yes, he knows way better than me. And a couple little details that probably don't matter to anybody but me. This is a cool old school speed part. It's an old Bosch 019 mechanical advanced distributor, so it does not have a vacuum advance on it. And then these are actually MP 44 IDF copies. And then today's project, before y'all got here, was to put a fuel pressure regulator in. Melissa needs to turn this way.
Trying to get together a carburetor.
It's super exciting, but here, this is what I did today. And believe it or not, just putting that fuel pressure regulator in was like hours of work, because I had to get fittings, and you go to the hardware store and get fittings and they're not the right ones, and you get back. And so what that does is make sure that the carburetors don't see more than 2 pounds of fuel pressure while the car's running. Alright, so the battery charge is on it. I am going to turn the battery charger up to cranking amps and see if this thing starts. I have no idea if, so some of the things I'm going to do, what I was going to say is I have no idea if the battery's charged enough yet. But what I'll do is I'll turn the key on, prime the fuel system, make sure it's at 2 pounds. If it's not, I'll adjust the regulator. Check for leaks, because these cars are dangerous. If the fuel drips, it drips down onto the headers, which is fire hazard. I know it's super disorganized, but see what's right here? Fire extinguisher, safety boy. So anyway, so I'm going to turn the key on, hear the fuel pump run, walk back, look and see if there's any leaks, any of the stuff I worked on. It's a really quiet fuel pump in this car, so you probably can't hear it. glasses on so I can see. Check all the fittings that I tightened today. And then it's 2 pounds of fuel pressure. So I'm gonna give it a crank and see. Neutral. Turn the battery charger up so that I get more speed with the starter.
Dang. Do you want to watch the video? Then you can look at the engine and see what's
Do I?
going on.
No. That's what I do this. Now it's getting fuel because I looked in here earlier and pumped the throttle and watched the accelerator pump squirt fuel down every time you push the throttle. And that's how you can usually tell if you're getting fuel to the carburetor. If you look straight down the hole. Yep, can you see that squirt? Yep, you can see it. So it's getting fuel. Oh wait. Maybe I should hook the coil up. This is what startup videos are like for me. On all these other YouTube channels, people have everything ready to go. Maybe a little puff of fire out of the carburetor. I don't even have this coil hooked up.
What's a coil for?
It makes it have spark. So that it'll start. Remember I said when I was cranking away, it sounds like it doesn't have spark? Because it didn't. Oh, man.
Why did you have it unhooked?
Because the engine was out. I sent see how there's a little clamp holding this wire? I sent that with the engine to Tom because he runs it in a test stand and tunes it. Now the thrill will be it's probably flooded. So it'll start rough, which I guess maybe people like to see it run rough. I don't know. It's annoying. I like it to start up and run crispy. But it probably won't. It'll cough and sputter, blow smoke because it's got too much gas in the cylinders. I'm not sure what's up with the battery charger. Try number 2. This is the usual Tom Simpson deal. You turn the key and it runs like this.
So what?
Whenever Tom works on them, you just start them and this is how they work. You don't have to mess with anything. So all I'm checking now is to make sure the fuel pressure stays at 2 pounds. It's a little bit. Check out the engine running with the sweet new OUTLAWED hinges. OUTLAWED. Well, that's super awesome. I know. Dude.
Why did the wheel turn when you did that? Is that a dumb question?
No, because there's a little bit of drag even when it's in neutral. It spins the transmission.
Yeah, my favorite lug nuts. Good job.
It's awesome. Stoked. Smell the exhaust paint burn off. That's another thing I did while I had it part of it. I painted the exhaust.
Was that what I'm smelling? Because I'm like,
Yeah.
right in.
Remember the crinkle paint, man. Crinkle black. So it's getting close. The idea is to get this thing all super sweet, and it needs stuff like, from being 20 years sitting, all this black molding shrunk and left gaps. So I have a new roll of this stuff, but I just need to take time to take it out and make a new piece that goes all the end. It should not have a hole in it. So I'll brag. Some of the stuff that's cool about this kit, I just feel the urge to brag, there's several unique features of this vehicle that I guess I'm responsible for. So one of the things that I did, because it was a bigger engine than stock, these cars came with a 1600cc engine max in the sporty version, and they had one single grill. And so when I built the car for Barry, I had two real Porsche 356 grills instead of the junky one that came with the kit. And I split the center and moved it out and made two intake grills so that I can get twice as much air in it. And then another cool feature on this car were the head restraint / roll bar setup. So this is the crossbar actually ties into the chassis structure of the car. So this is a structural member. All this stuff is roll cage tubing, and then these tubes are solid aluminum stock that I made a fiberboard form to the size I wanted, and then I soaked them in water so they wouldn't catch fire, and then I would heat this aluminum up with a torch, anchor the first end and pull it around the buck. It's called a buck when you make a wooden form, and it caught fire every time. But eventually, after I think it was probably like 4 tries, I got 2 good hoops, and I really actually liked aesthetically how these worked out. These were Barry's idea, and it was back. The car was built back when Audi TTs first came out, and we both enjoyed the way the TTs had the head restraints on the seats. It looked like a roll bar. So these are functional as far as they could support the weight of the car turned over. And they also are the anchor point for the shoulder restraints. And it has these adjustable headrests / head restraints that also can unhook and be stowed in the back with this leather snap. Pretty cool. And again, that's all Barry's design. He's a really clever designer. I was just the artisan that had to work out how to make the stuff. And the coolest thing about this aluminum was, when I moved into my old house before my life event in 1990, in the garage somehow there were just big sticks of this solid aluminum rod, which I have no idea what it'd be used for. And so I eventually got to use them to make these, which is cool. So today, in car world, it's funny that most of the time when you have cool cars around, I'm not saying my cars are cool, some people think they're cool, but when you have cars that are noticeable, people will be like, oh man, you're so lucky to have that car, and all this stuff. And it's like, it doesn't bother me. I get it, because I feel fortunate to have shiny lowered cars with engines and stuff. But the crazy thing is, it has nothing to do with luck. It's getting up, going to the garage, and working on something when I feel like laying on the couch and watching YouTube videos of other guys working on stuff. But so today was like just a hard day, and it's no big deal, and I still wanted to do it, and I kind of had fun, and I feel satisfied. But I didn't even want to be filmed doing it, because I was laying underneath the Speedster, putting the exhaust back together, sanding the rusty exhaust and painting it with black crinkle paint, my favorite high heat paint and stuff. And it's all satisfying, but it's far from lucky. It's just dirty, like gritty work that in the end makes cool stuff. But it's like there's a lot of days that are just like that, you know, like I have a mat under the car, but I gotta reach for something, and I gotta go get something, and to get the exhaust in place I have to balance it on my knee and do that, and I end up leaning into a big pile of old motor oil on a board or whatever. And it's, I don't know if everybody has that, maybe some people don't have to do that stuff, but man, a lot of the days that I spend messing around with cars or doing whatever are just gritty, hardcore, like dirt days, and it's kind of fun. It's also not that fun. So, but anyway, the exhaust is back on the car, and it looks great. It's black crinkle paint. After looking at it for 5 years, like with surface rust from sitting in the garage, it's awesome seeing it in black crinkle paint. But it definitely was not like lucky getting it that way. It was disgusting, but it's done.
About. What are you working on?
I'm just welding an exhaust hanger back on it, broken off. Yeah, I don't know if I can get a quick look at this.
Oh my gosh, look at that. The struggle's real, man.
It is really real.
You see anything?
Can you take this out of the way? Just don't want to lose it. Oh my.
So you go to your happy place.
Well, once I get a cap on, it's not that big of a
I'm
deal.
just kidding. It's like holy crap. Oh my gosh.
I did, and it took better part of the day, was just get this header extension sanded and painted with high heat paint, and then the exhaust system. I tried to make as long of a tailpipe as I could to quiet the car down, so it wraps way around. But anyway, all I did was really kind of paint prep it and spray bomb it. But it's nice seeing it all together. This car's really nice, so it needs to be like cleaned up and proper. It's getting there. I still have to clean the road grime off the bottom of the engine.